All right, I'm going to change the subject here. I had some questions I wanted to ask you about McDougall because he seems to be he's contradicting himself at this point. Have you seen him with the latest with sugar causes teeth to fall out or something like that? I haven't actually watched the video, but I keep having people ask me like, oh, I can't eat the sugar because my teeth are going to fall out. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And they're like, McDougall did a video. I'm like, they've been putting sugar in toothpaste for like 800 years now. I don't know where this is coming from, but he has become a total sugar phobe.
But he sells sugar in his freaking McDougall soup things. You know, his pre-made meals, his processed refined meals that he sells. So I've got nothing wrong with processed refined things. I use that sound bite because people get triggered by it. But I'm doing McDougall, Whole Foods, no processed stuff. McDougall sells. Have you had seen those little soups, the noodle soups he sells?
Yeah, I have. I actually got some upstairs.
They're tasty.
They are tasty, good.
But they're expensive and they're small. But anyway, there's sugar in those. So I'm not sure if McDougall went to Cape Tribulation in North Queensland, maybe sat on a beach that Freelee sits on, and a coconut fell on their heads. All right, maybe she took one too many cocos to the dome, and a bit of like contradiction, amnesia going on there. But yeah, McDougall contradicts himself. Sugar's okay if I'm selling it in my little packaged foods, but don't eat sugar because it make your teeth fall out. Sugar and teeth, like that. Where do we even start in this one? Everyone thinks that sugar makes you fat, sugar makes you diabetic, sugar gives you tooth decay. What causes tooth decay? Many things. One of them is dry teeth. Like people don't drink water at night time. Yeah. I've always got water on hand. When you don't have enough saliva, your teeth are more exposed to various things that can cause teeth decay. If you have a weak immune system, the immune system can't take care of the bacteria in your teeth, in between your gums. That can cause teeth issues. Diabetes, like low blood flow, can cause teeth issues. Hot and cold foods can cause micro fissures, micro cracks in the teeth, with then bacteria and food can get stuck in there and over time cause decay. Not flossing, poor dental hygiene, some mouthwashes, they're very acidic or base. They can cause issues on the teeth. So you think I'm doing a good thing from oral health using a mouthwash, but it's actually eroding your enamel. Have a Google. And just not flossing, just having stuff stuck in between your teeth. Probably the worst is like, just meats or floury stuff that just gets stuck in there. Clean it out, and then bacteria can grow off that, and then the acids from their digestive thing can attack your enamel. Certain medications can cause hormonal issues, which can cause teeth issues. So if you have low estrogen or low testosterone, it can cause teeth issues. Sugar's never, ever the cause. Sugar's pH neutral. Sugar just washes off you get sugar, put some sugar in water, drink it, splash with some water, and it's gone. It's down. It's in your digestive tract. It's not sitting around. Okay. So, and they'll be like, what about sodas? People have tooth decay because of soda. Well, look at the phosphoric acid, the carbonic acid in soda. Right? Is it the pH neutral sugar, or is it the acids that are causing dental erosion, enamel attacking? It's the acids, people. So it's like if you see people who are drinking diet soft drinks that don't have sugar, they still have the teeth issues because the acids are still there. But people just they just power it. It's like, sugar causes diabetes. Sugar makes you fat. Oh, but fruit sugar's okay. But no, sucrose is sucrose,
Yeah.
I mean, unripe fruit's not good either because that can be acidic.
No.
But sugar on its own, sugar's fantastic.
Yeah. Because myself included, a lot of people who go on the Starch Solution, keeping with McDougall, don't really lose weight. I really struggled to lose weight on that. And what are your thoughts on people who don't lose weight on Starch Solution?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, the 50-50 plate is probably the main cause, because most people who go on Starch Solution go on 50-50 plate, and then they go on a heavy binge and eat like half a cow.
That's what's going to happen. It's like, if someone's eating like an Asian, like a slim Asian person or slim African person who's eating sugars and starches as their primary calorie source, they're going to look like they come from rural India or rural Africa or rural Asia. So in 21 years of coaching someone, as 1996, so what's that now? That's low. Okay, so 26 years of coaching people, I've never seen anyone who's stayed what I would call fat on a high carb, low fat diet. Low fat meaning, under 10, 20, 30 grams a day. You know, I've never seen that ever since 1996. Okay. It's always some medication someone's on, or they eat good for a bit and then they go to Pizza Hut and, you know, have the bacon lovers triple cheeseburger pizza. And, you know, and then they were telling on about it. It's like, oh, well, I'm meant to be a vegan, meant to be a vegetarian. So, you know, so yeah. And that can create confusion because people are like, I don't want to put their hand up because they go, you get slammed. So they lie. And then people go, oh, well, I don't know what's going on. Carbs make you fat. So, if that was the case, I would be freaking obese. And so would Natasha. And so would Freelee. And so would anyone who does my protocol long term. They would be, or anyone who does high carb, low fat long term would be big as houses. You know?
Yeah.
So
big natties.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm on steroids, you know, super high levels of testosterone. I'm like 79 kilos. And when I'm full natty bra, I'm like 60 to 64 kilos, you know? So it's like, on the same diet. Okay. So hormones determine body weight primarily. But someone wants to lose fat, then yeah, just eat low fat. Eat as low fat as you can go and just stick to it, people. Just stick to it. And understand that many medications can cause significant weight gain, especially the antipsychotics or the SSRIs or Xanax or certain like prednisone and stuff. And some people can cause a reaction and cause a lot of inflammation and puffiness in some people. But if you're eating like me, people, long term, just stick at it, man. You're going to get success. You're going to reach your goals if your goal is emaciation nation.
Yeah. I had somebody ask me, not to bring Freelee back up, but why?
Any questions, man?
Why Freelee lost more on sugar and starches than on the raw life that you guys were doing for a while there?
Because she's still healing from years of calories in, calories out mindset. Freelee was, you know, she was doing low carb stuff. Freelee done every diet in the sun. Freelee's done every diet out there. So her metabolism was screwed by the time in 2007, when she moved in with me, end of 2007, her metabolism was cooked. She done water fasting, juice fasting, and clenbuterol and all sorts of stupid stuff. But, you know, she didn't know any better. And then I said, look, well, I'm going to get you so skinny, people are going to comment, hey, you're too skinny. And she looked at me like I was batshit crazy. I said, look at me. Yeah. Do I look fat?
Yeah.
I wish I had all your legs. Do what I'm doing. All right. Do what I'm doing. So anyway, she did what I did. She leaned right out. But, you know, it's like, it's just, yeah. It's people just, you got to stick at it.
Do you think that she would have lost it faster had she never even done the raw vegan and just done the you know, the kind of raw till 4 style?
Yeah, to answer your question, so the reason why she was heavy on raw food was because she was still healing. Okay. Her thyroid, her TSH stimulating hormone was still very high. Okay, so she was eating 100% raw food. Like we were together 24/7. Right? There was no sneaking going on. There's no sneaking going on. We were staying in a raw house, so she wasn't getting up at night time and going to the pantry and eating the freaking cookies or whatever. This was like strict, man. All right. And I was just thinking, damn, like this metabolic rebound does exist, you know? And so she was having like zoodles for dinner, like zucchini noodles and tomato and like a little bit of dates and stuff. And I'm like, you got to eat more. You got to eat more. You got to get more carbs in you. It's going to just get you back on track. And eventually she did, and she started losing more and more weight. So if she wasn't doing raw food, well, not raw foods, if she wasn't doing high carb, low fat, she would have got probably up to 100 kilos. If she was just eating a standard Australian diet, she was 73 at her peak. She's about 165 centimeters. And so, yeah, she would have been up to 100 kilos if she didn't find me, for sure. Because eventually, I see it all the time. Women they just crack. They just go, I don't care anymore. Just give me the food. I'm eating cheesecake, KFC. We're going to town. And they go to 100 kilos or more.
Yeah. So
luckily, Freelee found me. And luckily, she was committed. She wanted to come to Adelaide. You know, she wasn't just interested. She's like, I'm going to Adelaide. Help me. Let's do this. And so we did it. And then the weight started to come off. The weight started to come off. So if she was doing raw till 4 or 100% raw, high carb, you know, it would have been the same. I would say you're better off not doing 100% raw food though. I guess it depends what someone's goal is. If someone's goal is to have people say, hey, you're looking a bit skinny now. All right, eat some meat, have a burger, eat something, then do my protocols, okay? And just don't worry about doing 100% raw or whatever, because most of the time you're going to eat too much fat, then you're going to feel a little studged out, and you'll be like, blah, 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 and you won't be as productive, and your body will be like, what are we doing? But if you can source incredible fruit all the time, it's easy for you to do, then yeah, you can eat fully raw or whatever. But if there's a time out there when you don't get enough fruit, then add in your rice, your potatoes, add sugar to your fruit smoothies for sure, and you'll be good to go. It's the macros matter. It's not whether it's raw or cooked. The macros matter most. And the problem with raw macros, it's just hard to get the fruit all the time. I'm eating some vegan gummies here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I got fruit inside. I got bananas, but they're not ripe yet. I got oranges, but they're not ripe yet. Yeah, I like really ripe stuff. So I got some spearmint leaves over here, some more vegan gummies. Like, that's my fruit. Get my sugars in. I can do this interview.
Yeah.
And if I had to talk for the next 12 hours, I could do that because I got sugar coming in. But if I was raw food orthorexic, woo-woo guy, I'd be like, oh, what was the question? So yeah. So to answer the question is, why was she so heavy on fruit and zoodles? Because her thyroid was absolutely cooked. Because I shouldn't say it's cooked. Her thyroid, her TSH level was elevated because she had trained her body to be a weight gainer. All right. So her T3 and T4 thyroid hormones were suppressed. And the doctors might say, oh, get on some levothyroxine. No. Just eat more carbs, stop all the stims, and your thyroid will go back out. Your TSH will drop, T3, T4 will come back up. And it did. And it happens every time. All right. Every time. But people don't want to put in the work. And credit to Freelee, she did put in the work. She listened to what I said. Took a while, but she put in the work and she got the results.
Yeah, she certainly did. Another thing is, I saw a video of you mentioning salt, and you were talking about having very minimal salt. And then somebody else told me that you had changed your thoughts on salt consumption. What is that true? And what changed your mind on that?
Yeah, in 2008 or 2003, even if you watch my forum content in 2003 or my YouTube videos in 2008, I was like, avoid salt. That changed around 2010 when I realized why am I even saying this? This is good advice for someone with high blood pressure, like an obese or anyone with high blood pressure. Yeah, cut your salt as low as you can go. But for the rest of us, it wasn't necessary. Okay. So then I said, just eat as much salt as you sort of care for. And over time, you'll have less and less salt, but you'll still have 1 to 3 grams a day. And that's no biggie. But if you've got high blood pressure, cut out the salt until your blood pressure's, healthy range, and then you'll be good to go. But if you're doing my protocols, your blood pressure's going to be fine anyway, if anything, it will be like low normal versus high. So with salt, I tell people, have as much as you care for, but if you've got high blood pressure, then yeah, you got to like back off the salt, I tell people, let your blood pressure decide. And like my eyes are a bit puffy today because I had a bit of a salty meal last night. So if you're going to wake up in the morning, do a photo shoot, like if I do a video first thing in the morning, I'd have a very, very low sodium. I wouldn't have soy sauce. I got soy sauce right here. So I wouldn't have soy sauce on my rice at nighttime.
What are you dipping your gummies in soy sauce?
I would have just maybe a bit of ketchup, right? A bit less salt. So if you've got to wake up and have no puffy eyes, then yeah, don't have salty meal the night before. Okay, that's the secret there. So yeah, so it's otherwise, after about an hour of bike riding or a bit of a walk, you start to pump your lymph, the salt retention comes out of your face, you're good to go. So yeah, so that's a little tip there for people who want to have a fresh face in the morning. Then eat a low sodium dinner, and have your salt maybe at lunchtime, etc.
That's a good idea. And somebody wanted me to ask you, how long does hyperphagia last?
So hyperphagia is Hyperphagia. Hyperphagia, phasia meaning hunger, hyper meaning high. High hunger is a response when you haven't eaten enough carbohydrate, your body kicks into hyperphagia. That might be just be like for a meal. It might be for a day. It might be for like a couple of months even. I would say the most I've seen hyperphagia in someone in coaching since 1996. So 26 years about, I'd say the most I've seen hyperphagia in someone is probably 7 to 8 weeks, all right, where they're just like, and then, that's like anorexics, or people have done like, bodybuilding comps, or they just starve themselves and use thyroid meds to lean out and stuff like that. And then they're in a mess, man. And they're psychologically in a mess, stimulant abuse. So I'd say 7 to 8 weeks. And that's why if you're doing my protocol, if you're hyperphagic, people, it's so important to do my protocol. Don't eat the fatty foods if you're hyperphagic, because unless you're anorexic, you need to gain quick. But otherwise, if your BMI is around 20, then okay, stop the fatty foods. Like you weigh enough, because you're just going to pile on, way more fat than you need. If your BMI is over 20, get strict with the fat intake. If you're hyperphagic, you've got to be strict. Otherwise, you're going to balloon out. All right, you're going to look like high carb Hannah. She was hyperphagic. Yeah, and she got hyperphagic, and she's a cool chick, man. I got time for Hannah. Helped her with her YouTube career and that. Created a channel name and monetized her account for her and helped the thumbnails, etc. She's doing great. She met her husband through me, Derek. So I remember eating with Hannah, high carb Hannah in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and she would we're at this all-you-can-eat buffet, and she would come back with all this greasy, fatty vegan dishes. I'm like, I can't eat that, man. Like, what? She goes, I just don't want the rice. And I'm like, yeah, because you're full hyperphagic, man. Like, you can't eat that stuff, man. You're gonna blow out more than you want to blow out, all right? And girls being girls, they want to be skinny, like Natasha, etc. So I said, you can't eat that stuff, man. Like, what are you doing? I was probably a little bit more polite back then than I am now. I'd be more like straight up, dude. Like, I'm taking the plate away. You can't eat that. Eat the rice and the ketchup and the fruit and the sugar. You can't eat all this fat, because you're just going to store it, extra store it. It's going to give you insulin resistance, and then you're going to have higher fasting insulin levels, and you're going to be this big anabolic mess as a woman. But yeah, so I'd say high carb Hannah would have lasted a couple of months for her. Yeah, she was in a bad state with Adderall addiction and restriction, and it's common, it's common in the US and Australia. It's very, very common for people to get addicted to these prescription stimulants, dextroamphetamine, Ritalin, modafinil, methylphenidate, etc. And then, even thyroid medications. Many women abuse thyroid meds, get lean, and they just become nervous wrecks. I'll tell you what, women, it doesn't matter how skinny you are. If you crack her up the top in the head, like, guys gonna get, the guys you like are gonna get really tired of you really quick. Okay. Yeah. I would rather have a woman who's out of shape, but in shape in the brain.
Oh yeah.
We can get her in shape. I can get anyone in shape, any woman in shape, in her shape she wants to be in. But if you're crack her up top in the brain, I don't want to be around that. I'm like, done. That's why I broke up with Freelee, and then I was just like, can't deal no more with the bullshit. Can't deal with the gaslighting, etc. But I can be friends, but I don't live with her anymore. Yeah. She's not willing to put in the work to really heal mentally, spiritually. So I just can't be around that anymore. And that's just me, It's not a fault of her. But yeah.
Some people like it. You keep mentioning your protocol. Did you know about the rice diet when you were coming up with what you do? Did you base it kind of on that?
No, I was aware of Walter Kempner, because I'd read a lot of Nathan Pritikin's books back in the day, and an Australian author called Ross Horn. He was like talking about oils and stuff, and the McDougall's early work, and John Robbins' Food Revolution, Diet for New America. So I was reading those books in 2001. I had John Robbins' books, and I think in the mid 90s, reading Leslie Kent. Actually, I was reading Leslie Kenton in the 80s. My mum was into diet books and stuff, so I wasn't out of Nintendo for a long time in my life. So I'd read her diet books just out of sheer boredom. Yeah, wasn't able to watch TV, and no Nintendo, so I just read books, and I'd read diet books, and I'd be like, what's this about? So yeah, so I was, exposed to that early on, but I was always, they always says, don't overeat, eat less. Fit for Life by Harvey Diamond, which is where I come up from with a sort of raw till 4 protocol, fruit for breakfast, starch for dinner. That's what's great. And but they had all these pages and dedications and chapters like don't overeat, eat less, eating is cheating. And I was just like, that never ever vibe with me. I was just like, this is dumb. But I thought I'll try it out. I was like, this is stupid. You can't think properly. You lose your motivation. You get hungry and hyperphagic for fatty foods, and then you undo all your good work you've been doing. So, I was aware of Walter Kempner in when I put out my book Carb the F Up in 2014. So I was basically just stealing everyone's ideas that made sense to me and then adding my twist to it and bringing them all together. Yeah. It's basically like going through like a food buffet and going, have a bit of this, have a bit of that, a bit of this, and then creating this dish at the end and go, this is the dish you want to eat. I go, this is the protocol you want to do. So it was sort of original, but not original in that I was getting ideas from other people. I was standing on the shoulders of giants and then adding my twist to it, adding in the cycling, adding in the blood volume, adding in the B12 injections and monitor your iron levels, regardless of what your diet is. And going to bed early and the lifestyle, like being authentic and having integrity and not damaging people, things like that. So it's a whole lifestyle. Because again, you can eat the best food in the world, but if you're a douchebag because you're just lying about stuff that hurts people, all right, like you're purposely lying to just defame and slander, destroy people or community, doesn't matter how healthy your eating is, it's going to show up on your face. Yeah. And people are going to comment. People are going to comment on your face, Like people never used to comment on Freelee's face. They said, well, she looks amazing. She looks glowing. But ever since she started slandering me by being silent or making up shit, then people started commenting on her face. Like, what's happened to her face? You know what I mean? So I guess that's a bit of, bit of karma or whatever. But yeah, so that's a big, you look at her face now and back in 2015, 2016, 2014, 2012, how innocent and nice it looked. Yeah. And look at my face, I still look like a bashed up baseball mitt, but I always have, And I look older, but I'm still a happy, glowy sort of person because I don't believe in scamming people and bullshitting people like that.
Yeah. I think that's why, I'm 42 in a month. So
yeah, man. And you got a chill face as well.
Yeah. Because I don't lie. I have no reason to lie.
You have any secrets like that,
No. Yeah. No. I don't. Speaking of cycling, do you think, because a lot of people come on my comment section, they're like, well, the only reason Durianrider lost weight is because he rides like 100 miles a day. If you really do the math, it really doesn't make any sense that the diet wouldn't be the main cause of a weight loss, but
the diet's the main thing. Nutrition's the main thing. We are what we eat. You can't out-train a fatty diet. I've done maybe 1,000 miles this year on my bike, not my e-bike, but my road bike. I've maybe pedaled 1,000 miles on my road bike this year. Okay. I've ran, I think 47 kilometers this year. And the date today is 13th of July here in Australia, 2022. So I'm sorry, but doing 1,000 miles in 6 months, 7 months isn't impressive for someone as lean. It's not the cause of my leanness. It's the disciplined low fat eating consistently. Okay. That's what keeps it low fat. And because I don't train much anymore, because I'm trying to do a weight gain experiment, then I have to eat low fat. Otherwise, I'm going to feel so stodgy. I'm going to feel all greased out. And even the other night, I went out to Indian with Natasha the other night and I had a dish. And I picked the lowest fat dish I could see, but I could still feel grease on my back the next day. And I was like, damn, like that dish, it looked really low fat. It tasted pretty low fat, but I can feel the grease now. I don't normally feel on my skin, on my back, on my face a bit, on my scalp. So yeah, it's that's the deal. That's the deal.
All right, let's find another question here. So somebody asked me if they should eat rice or potatoes for the quickest weight loss. And I'm like, I really don't think it matters, but I figured I'd give you a shout out on this one.
I got some potatoes in the oven. Then I'm going to get out. Actually, Natasha will get them, but whatever you like. I would say rice is better. I'm only got potatoes on because I had them in the cupboard, but I would say rice is better. White rice, I would say, is the best. My favorite rice is white sushi rice. You might like jasmine rice or basmati rice or brown rice or red rice, whatever rice you really like. I like this rice. You're eating the rice because you like it, not because you think you should like it. Or if you prefer pasta, then pasta is the best for you. If you prefer potatoes or corn, then they're the best for you. You got to eat the carbs that you love to eat, and you're making them low fat. That's the secret. And so for me, I would say rice is a magic one. I find women do really good on rice. Guys do. Rice is like, white rice is life. And if you're going to marry a guy or a girl, make sure they're a rice eater. They're a fruit lover, but especially a rice eater. If they're not eating white rice, I don't know, there's something about white rice, sugar, and sweet fruit. Like if you're not eating those every day, in my opinion, in my experience, 26 years training people, you're not going to have the best version of yourself. I'm not my best version. I had white rice last night, and I had sugars yesterday, and I had some fruit and had some, a bit of fruit this morning as well. Like I just feel like, I love life, man. Those things make me feel so good. Your serotonin, your dopamine transmitters, those things really get it going. Enhance your dopamine, serotonin levels with white rice and sugar and fruit. So white rice versus potatoes, whatever the person likes. I'd say do both, eat both.
Yeah, I mean that's usually what I respond.
Mixing your starches is really good. There's something magical about that as well. Like if I have rice and potatoes or rice and corn, like it's just that double whammy carbohydrate here. Like your muscles, your brain, your sex organs, everything just works better next day. And even that day, it's just a muscle glycogen enhancement. It
really is.
Yeah, I'd say eat both of them if you can. At the same time, or at least in the same day.
Yeah. One thing that I tell people, if you're really struggling to lose weight, is not to do oatmeal. And everybody attacks me about that. I'm like, of all the starches, it's fairly high in fat comparatively to the rest of them. And everybody wants to fight me on it.
Yeah, it is definitely the fattiest starch out there. I would say, if it definitely doesn't make anyone fat, but can it slow down the progress? Yeah, it can. But if you feel best on oats, then eat oats. Like if oats let you get the work done, if oats let you get the parenting work, your social work, your fitness work, your artistic work, your sexual work, your spiritual work, if oats let you get that done better than rice and potatoes, then go the oats. All right. For me, I find oats, I have them a few times a week. I find they're a bit heavier than white rice. I can't eat oats for breakfast. No way. I'm a fruit, sugar, water guy for breakfast and lunch most of the times. Potatoes are probably the lighter starch, and then white rice and corn, and I'd say oats, the heavier starch. Quinoa is pretty light starch. But if oats are working for someone, then stick with the oats.
Good enough answer.
If you find you have fruit for breakfast and it's not enough, fruit and sugar for breakfast, it's not enough, and I've tried eating 20 bananas for breakfast, it's still not enough. And if you prefer oats, if it works for you, then do oats. Do oatmeal. Oats, water, sugar. Yeah, I have that for dinner sometimes.
One of the times when I was watching, kind of reviewing one of your videos, you guys mentioned that you don't like nutritional yeast all that much, and I can't figure out why, because you're not the only people that have said this. And what is the basis on that?
I've got no problems with it. Well, I'll eat it. I'll put it on rice sometimes or potatoes. When you said that, I was like, I haven't had nooch for a while. Some brewer's yeast or Bragg's yeast flakes. I haven't had that for a while. Yes, I think it's fine. I don't have any issue with the yeast flakes.
Okay. Yeah, because you're just kind of downing on it in whatever video that was.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the context of that one was. I mean, what the things I've changed on maybe would be yeast flakes and salt intake in the last 15 years. But yeah, otherwise it's pretty consistent. Carbs, carbs, carbs. Never restrict carbs. Keep your fat low.
Somebody asked you if agave syrup would be better for you than other forms of sugar. And I'm like, I just don't see why that would be the case. But
nah, it's just expensive sugar. Agave is almost 50-50 split glucose to fructose ratio. It's expensive. It's a bit acidic just because it's just the nature of agave. It's acidic versus pure sucrose, aka cane sugar, is pH neutral. So the glucose and the fructose and sucrose in the agave is pH neutral, but the solution coming from the agave, I'm not sure what's in the process or whatever, is acidic. So slightly acidic. It's not really an issue, but it's just a sugar at the end of the day. It's a type of sugar. I'll have agave a few times a year. I wouldn't buy it though, because it's stupidly expensive. It's just a sugar.
It is. Yeah.
So I remember back in the day, 2005 and 2004, I was buying agave syrup from Nature's First Law, David Wolfe, sunfooddiet.com and stuff. And I was like paying some stupid amount for agave syrup. And I was like, this is like raw sugar. And my friend's like, oh, there's sugar. Like, just have cane sugar, dude. Like, cane sugar comes from a plant. That agave comes from a plant. One's $1 a kilo. One's $100 a kilo. I'm like, yeah, but this is raw. And the dude's like, raw? I went to, and I was thinking, yeah, this doesn't make sense at all. So, but as a raw foodist, some of the orthorexia stuff was, I guess it's just noob days, You can look back now and laugh about it. But yeah, I mean, if there was no sugar available, I'd have agave for sure. But I'm going to pick cane sugar because I find cane sugar is just more of a powerful sugar at getting work done in life. All the works we like to do. Shave versus. Sugar's the go, man. What's the ingredients here? This is sugar. Sugar, glucose syrup, modified starch. Yeah, so this is many different types of sugars in this one here. Carrot, radish, spirulina, coloring, sugar, glucose syrup. So yeah. Last meant to be sweet.
This next question, I can't even read this, my own damn writing. It looks like they said, basically the bottom line is every time they eat starches, they get tired.
Yeah, starch is a sleeping pill. That's why I don't have it in the morning.
Yeah.
Some people have starch in the morning and they're fine with it.
Yeah. I can't do it.
I can't do starch with Becky.
No.
Starch in the evening though, that's why, I don't drink coffee. I rarely use stimulants. If I do use any stimulants, I use like a quarter dose, very small dosage, not every day, not even every week. But yeah, starches is like a sleeping pill. If you can't sleep at night, people just have your starch. You'll be people using red wine to wind down. They're using Xanax to wind down. They're using sleeping pills to wind down. It's like, have your rice, have your big dinners, man, the rice dinners. And next day, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to be like just powering through everything you're doing that day compared to not having starch at dinner.
Yeah.
So yes, for me, and make it high water content as well, because a lot of people out there are quite dehydrated. They're talking a lot like me, but they're not drinking enough water. So make sure you're peeing clear every 2 or 3 hours. And make your starch meals more high water content. If you find you feel a bit like, if you're feeling tired afterwards, you don't want to feel tired, then make it a higher water content because maybe a little bit dehydrated, which is easy. It's easy, especially in winter here in Adelaide, Australia. People turn the heaters on. We're quite dry, so you got to compensate with drinking water. People, it's winter, I don't want to drink water. But do you want to have good blood volume? Do you want to be hydrated, have good digestion, and feel best? Then you got to drink water. I never wait till I'm thirsty to drink water. I always drink before.
No, I don't either. Yeah,
always wait. I always check my color of my urine. If I'm peeing clear, I'm good. If I'm peeing yellow, knock back another glass.
That's another thing I wanted. I didn't want to too much information, but I can drink 2 gallons in a day and still not be peeing clear.
You need more water then.
It's crazy.
You need 2.5 gallons or 3 gallons.
There's only so much time in a day. I'm drinking.
But you're a big guy. How tall are you?
I'm just 6 foot, but I'm 260.
I saw you 6 foot. 260.
Yeah.
But you're also a naturally bigger dude. There's no way in hell I'm gonna be 260 without, unless I was doing some crazy dosage of steroids. But you're like a more of a big bear type. You know what I mean?
I am. Yeah, I'm a big dude. I'm never gonna be. I'm more of like a, I'm never gonna be real thin.
Oh, you definitely could be, but you'd be.
I don't want to be.
I'm not saying you'd have to, but I'm just saying you'd be like a slim bear. You're not going to be like an Italian greyhound. You'd be like the guy in the prisoner of war camp, like in the POWs. They just had a bigger frame.
Yeah.
You got a big frame for a 6 foot guy. I've just got a smaller frame. So that's just genetics. So someone like you, who's more bear phenotype, is going to need more water. Than someone who like me, who's 6 foot, who has a smaller, frame structure, who's more of almost like a albino Kenyan, is going to be genetically is going to be needing less water. But still, we need enough water. People go, hang on, what? Oh, Harley, Durianrider, you just said you're genetically skinny. Aha, this is your genetics. No, I can still be an obese fat cunt, by eating too much fat. But I'll be like one of those people out there who have the massive gut and the skinny legs. A big fat head and big fat arms, big fat face, but skinny legs and a massive pregnant 9-month, 12-pound baby. Look, so I can be obese, people. Yeah. I can be obese. That's right. So yeah.
All right. Somebody said that they don't like you because you called high carb Hannah fat. And then there was something below it, but they were mad about you. You calling high carb fat.
That was her words. She called herself fat. She was just clickbaiting. Hannah is, I told her to do a bit of drama and stuff. I think it's going to go to that level. It worked well. But Hannah did that, and that got her a lot of clout back in the day. That was like, I think it was 2014 she did that. And a lot of other people tried to do the same thing, like befriend us, or especially me, and then try and throw me under the bus to get some clout because they saw it worked for Hannah.
Yeah.
But Hannah was doing it in terms of like, I got fat, or Harley called me fat. It was a sort of primary school style. It wasn't, wasn't like, oh, Harley's a rapist or blah, blah, blah. Like now you're going full psycho freaking stalker mode, So she wasn't defaming me to get any clout. She was sort of semi-exaggerating, not the full context, but she calls herself fat, And I said to Hannah, we had a bit of I sent an email one time. And what I like about Hannah is you can communicate with her. She's approachable and you can create a resolution with her. So we had a bit of a tension. I said, look, this isn't good. This is, Derek's trying to get his green card and, blah, 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 blah. I said, look, you work with me, I'll work with you. It'll be good for both of us. I said, take down certain videos, blah, blah, blah. And I said, look, I'll help you really crank your YouTube channel. And I did that by telling her to capitalize on thumbnails. All right. Being a woman, if a woman has an impressive thumbnail in the video, boom, she gets instant clicks. And if she has a product like an ebook, she gets instant sales. And so Hannah did that. She did the thumbnail before and after, and then bang, her channel just took off. She listened to me. She took my advice and she won with that. So yeah, I did call her fat, but she calls herself fat. And the rest is history. And she's made millions of dollars off me calling her fat. And so, and good on her. But again, that was a time where, YouTube didn't have much competition. And 2014, 2015 was like a magic time. That was the golden era, really.
I know.
Like, remember the girl called Kayla Itziens? She took us to court back in 2015.
Yeah.
If she started up today, her and her partner Toby, if they start up today, they would flop. Yeah, but Toby had the vision. He started up in like 2013, doing before and after photos. So Toby had the vision, and luckily for Kayla, he chose her, and he made like a $500 million fortune on ebook sales and the Sweat app and stuff. So he's done really well financially, and but that was the golden era. All right, that was really the golden ticket back in the day. If almost anyone could become quite famous in 2014, 2015, because it was like Instagram was just popping, and it's still possible today. It's still definitely possible, but it's a lot harder because there's more competition. Everything in the world is getting more cutthroat. Rent is getting more cutthroat. Real estate, like it's competition for mates, girls and guys. Everything's getting more competitive.
Yeah.
But so Hannah, right time, right place, good time, nice face, bang, done and dusted. Multi-millionaire Hannah. So yeah, from one video, starting off that.
That worked out well.
Yeah.
Cooked food causes water retention. I think you kind of covered this one, but somebody asked it, so I figured I'd ask it again. Now, you advise to drink like a liter of water before every meal, right?
As a start, you might need more, you might need a bit less, but it's a good habit.
Yeah. Why do you think that the cooked food causes water retention though? Because I've noticed that in myself, even if I'll have like two liters of water beforehand.
Well, generally I find people, you're going to eat more if they're maybe eating more salt than normal. It depends what cooked food you're eating. Like if you're eating microwaved or boiled or steamed potatoes with no salt or a little bit of salt, you have to, I mean, as soon as you drink a glass of water, you got water retention. I'd have to look at a photo of someone like me, Natasha and I, we eat cooked food, we eat salt, but we're freaking lean as, especially Natasha. Like Natasha's like, you'd be hard pressed to find a girl as lean as her who wasn't a crackhead or something like that. And she's eating cooked food for dinners every night. She's never done a raw day in her entire life, ever.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Oh, actually, maybe one day. Okay, let's just, I'll take that back. She maybe she's done 1 or 2 days raw in her entire 24 years of existence. Okay.
Wow.
So, but she does high carb, high carb, low fat's been her gig for a long, long time, as a kid, even by luck. And so, and she never got into the starvation diets. She'd never done a diet in her life. She just, stayed high carb, low fat, and she didn't have to diet because her grandma would just say, just don't eat too much fatty stuff and don't eat McDonald's and blah, blah, blah. So Natasha would just eat, high carb, low fat. Occasionally birthday, maybe have a piece of KFC chicken or something. But in general, high carb, low fat. That's what she was raised on. Those macros. So but cooked food causing water retention, it's a bit like saying cycling makes your legs bulky. Yeah, it might add a few millimeters to your legs because your muscles get a bit of a pump, but it's not going to make you like have legs so big that people go, wow, your legs are huge. Like, it doesn't happen. Otherwise, I'd have ginormous legs. And so would every pro cyclist. But cooked food water retention, for me, whoever asked that or whatever, it's just a very subjective statement. It's a bit like saying Australia's very hot. Like, depends where in Australia, like what time of year, and So I guess it'd be more information needed.
Okay.
Seriously,
that scares everybody off, dude.
Oh, mate, I was talking to this guy yesterday about Tour de France, and he was like really interested in what I had to say. And I said, oh yeah, and sugar, like, so important. And he's just like, and then the conversation really wrapped up quick after that. He's like, all right. He started leaning back in his chair. He's like, all right, yep, cool. Tap on his desk and that, like, okay, you got to go, buddy. And so, but before that, he was like leaning in. He's like, oh, tell me, what do you think Pogacar's clean? Like, what's the deal, And I was just, and then once he did the sugar thing, he just, step back. So if you've got a girl who's getting a bit more full on, then say, try and do a kilo of sugar today and tomorrow. And that will be like, see ya, bye-bye.
I just don't understand where this is coming from, because these people are like our age, right? And,
not thinking.
Huh?
They're not thinking. They're just parroting.
They're not thinking. But if you think back to when we were growing up, people ate mostly starches with a little bit of meat on the side. I mean,
that's right.
When you were going over somebody's house, I don't know how it was in Australia, but here in America, like when you were going over somebody's house, and we're all Irish, so it's what kind of potatoes do you want? But like a lot of other places, it would be like, what kind of starch you want, but Irish, it's what kind of potatoes do you want? It's just
same. Not when I was a kid, like KFC, McDonald's, that was like once a month, maybe birthday eve,
Yeah.
My mum didn't take McDonald's very much at all.
No.
So it's, when I had my own money, I was eating McDonald's every day, and so I started to notice, I'm starting to get a little bit, bit fluffier than I wanted to be. But all right, I'll close it off. We'll do them again, man.
Yeah. So thanks, Durianrider, for being Harley, for being here. This is always a lot of fun.
People.
Leave any questions down below. I'm sure we'll end up doing this again, and I'll actually write them down legibly in a notebook, so I can actually read the whole thing. So any closing statement?
Just the simple life's the best, man. If people aren't questioning your lifestyle, then start to question that lifestyle. I got this hat in 2003. I got this jacket in 2003. This pink one here when I was living in Belgium. Like, I do believe in the simple life's the best. And, I've been really lucky with money and stuff, but I'll tell you, like, often more money, more problems. And if you can just live a simple existence with good health, good friends, or connection with nature, that's really what it's about. All right. That's really what it's about. End of the day.
Exactly. Perfect.
All right.
Thanks again. I'm sure they know, they know how to find you. But I'll put links down below.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Peace, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.